Oh, shit.
Today's adventure takes us from the familiarity of Hayfield to the perilous top of Mount Famine. Despite its name, it is not a mountain, rather a mound of gritstone, mud and grass. According to my trusty sources, it is named after the farmers struggling to make do on poor land after the Enclosure Acts of the late 1700s, I believe. The plan was to join the Pennine Bridleway here and follow it till around here, and branch off somewhere to Mount Famine, whether that be an off-map path or off-road altogether. There was no exact route we had in mind to join the Bridleway, so we improvised and started an impromptu walk from the Hayfield bus station in the direction of the Pennine Bridleway. Following the River Set, a sub-tributary of the River Mersey, we stumbled across a playground. Despite the lashing rain, we decided to shoot some footage here. The rainy conditions meant the slide in particular was elevated in terms of thrill factor, as evidenced here.
Shit, that was fast.
And here. With that, let's carry on the adventure. Eventually we make it to an all but familiar place after leaving the river in favour of Highgate Road. This is where I got lost in the first ever video, however, this time we carried on. Around Stubbs Farm and along the path, we entered a luscious wooded area thanks to it being the summer. Yes, despite the rain, this was summer. The wooded area was labelled on the map as Stone's House, but at the time we didn't spot anything matching that name. Later we learned it was just a farm and not a building attached to myth or folklore, unfortunately. The wooded area was just called L Bank, as far as I can tell. Coming out of L Bank, home to a disused quarry, we came across a gate signifying a spaghetti junction of paths, one of them being the Pennine Bridleway. The valley opened up and sucked us in, bearing habitat for sheep, and best described here.
So luscious.
With Kinder's Top hiding in cloud to our left, we carried on this valley path that we could see rolling towards our target. Looking behind, we could see the valley from a different perspective, in all its beauty. Now coming up to the ridge of the valley, an unmarked path appeared ascending up to the top of Mount Famine. The higher the altitude, the worse the conditions got, and we appeared to be stuck in a cloud of misery and wind. We took in what we could of the view before we ascended further towards even worse visibility. With no summit marker, the top offered nothing but a few sheep in the neighbouring field and a grey scenery. We officially declared this fence post stump as the summit, took in the view, and ran down in fear of damaging all my equipment in the wet. Unfortunately, we took a similar route back to the bus stop, thus concluding this adventure. A possibly disappointing end, but an action-packed experience once again.